fam, welcome. Do I look orange? I kind of do. Hold on. Hey, my name is MagdalineJanet. If you are new, welcome to the family. Please don't forget to like and subscribe because we're always here having a good time. And of course, welcome back to all my oldies but goodies. So you guys, I've been on a hot mission today. I've literally gone to 2 Sephora's to find this concealer and I found it. The reason being it's because it's mainly available online. It's not available in stores, only some stores, and those stores that have it, they don't have the full range. They have a few shades. So I was lucky enough to get the shade I think is mine, which is medium 126. So, I'm so excited. I already put my foundation on. Why not? Let's just use the KVD Good Apple foundation. So today what I'm gonna do is, you guys saw I reviewed this Revolution Under Eye Primer the other day, yesterday, my video before this one. So let's prime the left eye. I already added my eye cream. I use the Believe eye cream. It's so good because it moisturizes this area so well. Always recommend eye cream. So now I'm just gonna add this primer. I always avoid foundation in the under eye area also because we don't need all that. We don't need foundation, color corrector, concealer, setting powder. That's all too much. On the primer side, the left side, we're gonna use this sponge. On the right side, I'm gonna use my favorite Smashbox concealer brush. So this is available at Ulta and Sephora. This is how the packaging looks. Oh, so pretty. And then it has a light scent. You have to really put it in your nose to smell it. I have the shade medium 126. Oh, this thing's pigmented. See, look at that pigment. Oh look, a little goes a long way. And this looks about my shade too. It has a peach undertone. That's what I look for when we're working with my under eyes because you see they're dark. What I'm gonna do now is apply the concealer and give you all the info about the product. The new KVD Beauty Good Apple Lightweight Full Coverage Concealer retails for $28. I am in the shade medium 126. It comes in 32 shades and in a 0.33 ounce bottle. This is an extreme long wear crease resistant concealer with the same hydrating lightweight full coverage as the KVD iconic Good Apple foundation. The coverage is full, the finish is natural. The highlighted ingredients is raspberry stem cells, provide deep moisturizing benefits for all day comfort and hydration. Apple extract, which is rich in antioxidant to help nourish the delicate eye area. All right, wow, full coverage. Like, ojeras, where did they go? Okay. Turning off the light so you can get a better view. Here's the primed eye. Let me look up with the sponge. Here is the no primer with the brush. It's funny, the one with the primer is creasing more than this one, but I did just blend this one out. It does crease. The texture feels a little bit on the thickish side, kind of like the foundation, but it has this drying time. Dry down time. I always let my concealer sit, so I let this sit for about 1.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. It was a little too long. I liked it because it did dry down, but it still blended out, so it has that very creamy texture. And girl, look at this coverage. Dang. Let's get one of my favorite setting powder. What I always do is use a powder puff. I usually use my Amazon ones, but they're all dirty, literally all dirty. So I'm gonna use my Makeup Forever one. Please get like a very little amount of powder, like this, right? This is still too much. You wanna even out the powder so you don't have a big glob and it goes evenly into the under eye area, especially because I do have very dry under eyes. This is a very hydrating concealer, so using a mattish setting powder will work. Also don't want to go in with a lot of powder because that's when they look very dry and cakey and scrapey. So I'm gonna re-blend out the creases while looking up, getting my powder puff, tapping the powder in, not rubbing, just tapping in. While still looking up, I'm gonna get my brush and go with the brush side, just getting rid of creases. The creases don't look bad. And once again, I'm gonna tap it with the same puff, really working that powder in. I'm not gonna put additional powder. I like to look up, and then when I'm finishing up, I look straight ahead and just set it. And this looks so bomb. Oh, this is a primer. You see the primer looks a little smoother and you don't see the dent that I have. With no primer in the brush, you see the dent very like a smidge, not a lot, but you know, we're very picky here when it comes to high-end anything. So like I told you guys, we are starting late. It is almost 12 because, you know, I was on a mission today to find this for you. So let me just finish up my face and then we'll be back and talk about it. All right, fam, full face and everything, peinada too. So the concealer I feel like looks okay. As full coverage as it is, I don't feel like it's giving me like a flawless look right now. And let me show you why. Turning off the lights, if I look up, it's creasing a lot. It's been creasing. It was creasing when it was wet. It's creasing now that it's dried and set down. The under eyes are concealed, but it's not giving me like that full coverage look that it should, that the foundation does, you know? So what I'm thinking is, because I let it sit a little too long, I won't do that tomorrow. Because it has that thicker texture, less product in this under eye area, the better. Because this area, it's small. If you have too much product there, all it is gonna just bunch up in all your creases. And that's what I see is happening a lot of times with under eyes. Once they're set, they're most likely going to stay like that. The only thing I see throughout the day is if the coverage diminishes, but for the most part, I don't really see changes. I mean, unless it's a really bad concealer, darkness completely shows, you know, but that rarely happens. Oh, my lip color I'm wearing is this Milani 450 Desire and this e.l.f. lip liner in deep brown. Let's go in front of the window so you guys can see, because in daylight it's a whole nother story. This is the eye with the primer, which, no lie, in daylight it looks good. And then this is the eye with no primer and just the brush. What do you think of the coverage in daylight? Do we like it? Do we like it? Let me know. In daylight it looks so much better. That usually happens. And we're gonna do an all-day wear test. See you later. Bye. Guys, I'm back. It is 9 p.m. But of course, before we get started, I do want to show you how the under eyes were looking at around 3:30. The left side is the eye with the primer and blending it out with the brush, and it was looking pretty good at this point. And on the right side is us blending it out just with the brush. At this point, this eye was looking good also, and you can see in direct sunlight how the coverage looked. We did have a little bit of creasing going on, but that always happens. And here we are now, 9 hours later, and let's look at the under eyes. Let me look up so you get a good look. Here is the primer and sponge. Here is the brush. The primer, I find it looks a little bit smoother. Just a tad bit. Oh wow, with the primer there's less creasing. It just depends on the powder and the concealer. If they work together, we'll have less creasing, but I never not have creasing at the end of the day, you know? So here is the primer. You see how it's smoother? And then here is just the brush by itself. I feel like she's holding on to dear life. So for the first day, I feel like the concealer got better throughout the day. I feel like we have good coverage being 9 hours later, and we're not as creasy as I thought I was. I wasn't too happy. Not that I wasn't happy, I wasn't feeling it in the morning. I was just like blah about it. Kind of low-key feel gastada, but I don't think I look gastada, because aren't we like well put together here? Although we're a little bit oily, but yeah, this is it. Just wanted to show you guys how the under eyes look, and I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye. Oh, hello, good morning. Welcome back to day numero dos. And I actually wanted to do one eye first so you guys can see the difference, especially because I do have darker lids, darker under eyes, you know, all that jazz. On the left side, let's just go in with the concealer. I forgot to mention yesterday, look at this doe foot. You see that, how it's like slanted? Oh, I love it. I did notice that it fits so well in here, like in this area, which is like really dark. We're gonna go here, add a little bit here. I have very textured lids. I have these two pimples that are just not like trying to cooperate with me here. I do like that the doe foot doesn't grab a lot of product. This is enough for this side. I will have to dip back in for like the other side. So this time, let's not let it dry as long as I did yesterday. Because we know it's pigmented, it blends nicely. And I'm just doing this tapping in. Oh, and I'm using the sponge today. Now we're just gonna tap in here. Oh, you see the difference? Wow, you see that? And look how like hydrating it is. Okay, wow, world of a difference. So on the right side, let's color correct a little bit, just because I do have darkness here. I just use this LA Girl corrector. So what color correcting does is just gonna cancel out this darkness I have here. So I'm gonna blend this out, and I'm gonna go a little bit up here. How it's not as dark, it makes the skin look even toned. Okay, let's go back in. I think not waiting too long to let it dry is good. It's full coverage, but it has this transparent look to it. So keep that in mind. That kind of just lets us know that it's buildable. But again, because it does have a thick consistency, you do want to make sure you don't add too much, because then you'll just have creases all day long. Always blend out the under eyes last, so that just gives us a little more time to dry down, you know? The sponge just gives us that very nice fresh look. But let me show you the creasing here. You see the creasing right there? So it happened. It's not a bad thing, but it's not the greatest thing, okay? Let's set with this Maybelline setting powder. I have the shade Fair. It's their lightest shade, but I feel like the next shade up would be perfect for my skin tone, but not my under eyes. It'll be a little too deep. So I'm gonna blend out. I'm gonna try not to look up, down. Oh God, I got a lot of powder. And then I'm gonna set by looking up, tapping motions. And I go back and forth for like 10 seconds. On the other eye, I'm gonna use my powder puff right here. The other side of the sponge that doesn't have powder. And again, tap. Always looking up. So my lids are very oily, but my under eyes are dry, and I have very oily skin. It's odd, right? See the powder puff, how you can't see that dip with the sponge? This is why I use the powder puff, because it is my jam. But of course, when I review products, I always like to use them very differently. We don't all do our makeup the same, and I always like to give you options. So here we are. Here is the powder puff. Here is the sponge. Let me look up. Only using the sponge. Here we're using color corrector and a powder puff. Look at the lids. It's not showing any texture, which is a good thing. I usually use a color corrector, concealer, and then the powder puff to set. That's my jam, but here we are. It is currently, it is not even 6 a.m. You guys, I woke up so early today to film. So let me just finish up the face and I'll be back. So here we are, full face and everything. Today we do have better coverage on both sides, right? Because yesterday I felt like we didn't look this flawless. Feeling a lot more confident about the concealer, but I want to show you guys. Let me look up so you can see. This is the side we color corrected and set with our powder puff. Here is the sponge side. The sponge side is looking a little bit rough. I set it with the sponge. It kind of created a little bit of texture. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like right there. Versus here, you see how smooth it is. But other than that, it's just preference how you like to apply your makeup. And you guys know I love using my powder puff. It just makes everything so seamless. But today it's not creasing as much. So today I really like this a lot better. Which side do you like today? Before I go, this is my lip combo, more sepia with chocolate LA Girl lip liner. I'm gonna wait a little bit to give you guys the daylight view because it's still dark out. I'll see you at the window. Bye. Oh, we got some good sunlight. I had my coffee, so my lipstick is smeared. You know why. Here we have the powder puff and the corrector side. Oh, it looks so good. And then here we have the sponge side, and it just doesn't look as smooth, but it looks good. You see? I swear, daylight lighting is a game changer. Like, doesn't it look so much nicer in daylight? What do you think? What side do you like more right now? Yeah, I think this is it. Just wanted to show you per the usual. See you later. Bye. Hey fam, I'm back. It is almost 5 o'clock, but of course, before we get started, I do want to show you how the concealer was looking a few hours ago. Here on the right side is the side with the color corrector and the powder puff. It's looking so good. And on the left side is us just using the sponge, blending everything out with the sponge. Both looking really good. Here we are now all day long, and you guys, this concealer is looking really good. Let's turn down the light. Here is the corrector side. Here is the sponge. Let me look up so you can see. I feel like the sponge is creasing a little bit. You see that right there? Versus here looks a lot smoother. Knowing that, let's talk about this. Do I like this concealer? Yes. It's doing what the description says. It is hydrating. It is pigmented. It is lightweight. The only thing it does, and it does a lot, is it creases. It says this is a creaseless concealer, but this creases a lot. If you have very creasy under eyes, you will get a lot of creasing. If you don't have creasy under eyes, this will be ideal for you because it is that good. It is very hydrating. That's a big deal when it comes to concealer. concealers because under eyes tend to be dry a lot of the time. I do like it. I just wish it wouldn't crease as much as it did. I think today worked out a lot better than yesterday. Yesterday, I just really didn't like it, but we were also really getting to know the product, and I knew today we had to really take our time and set our under eyes well. But I don't look gastada, and I just like how it looks today. Let me know your thoughts about this concealer. Do you plan on picking it up or do you have it? What are your thoughts on KVD Beauty? You guys know I love chit-chatting with you in the comments. I love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with me and spending a little bit of your day with me. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, click the button right there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!